Hello, everyone. Our first video in the Behavior MTSS series will focus on Tier 1 interventions. These are the tools you should be implementing that are effective in managing behaviors for approximately 80% of students. Tier 1 includes your setups, expectations, accommodations, and interventions. We will go over some of the techniques that you may already be implementing. There is also an intervention checklist available on the content page that can be printed out for your own review and self-evaluation. The following are many basics of Tier 1 focused instruction. Our SEL curriculum. We are incredibly impressed by the classroom setups we've observed being utilized by teachers throughout the district. Focusing on competencies in social awareness, self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making have been identified by researchers as critical to success in school, the workplace, and life in general. Restorative circles, which are focused on community building and problem solving, are incredibly important in our schools. Strong in-class relationships. These are formed when you engage in team building, greeting students by name, check-ins, and fun activities. Creating common class rules and norms. Have students collaborate with you, post somewhere visible, and practice. A great example is our ARG pledge. Asking restorative questions. Most of us are doing this all the time, but it can be helpful to know that the processing you are doing with students is an important part of Tier 1 interventions. Questions like, what happened? What were you thinking? How did this make people feel? Who else has been affected? What should we do to put things right? How can we do things differently in the future? Use of effective language puts the focus on the way behaviors impact others. So some examples of typical versus affective statements. Stop teasing Sammy becomes, it makes me uncomfortable when I hear you teasing Sammy. Talking during class is inappropriate. I feel frustrated when you're talking at the same time as me because I don't feel heard. You shouldn't do that. I'm sad when you say something like that to John. I don't want to see you fighting with him. I was shocked to see you hurt Stephen. Educators have a lot of control over the way they structure their classrooms and can self-evaluate if their current setup is Tier 1 strong and working. Explore the following. Movement. Can more movement breaks be built in? Are there different opportunities for students to move their bodies or fidget without being disruptive? The development and use of classroom safe spaces or chill out areas. Academic interventions. Teachers continuously learn new ways of providing core instruction that is research-based. By implementing new approaches along with utilizing assessments and universal screenings, students are more likely to meet progress benchmarks. Student leadership opportunities. Keep active students busy. What kind of jobs and responsibilities can you give to the students in your classroom? Classroom mindfulness practices. Positive recognition. High rates of positive recognition is always important. Do students hear 4 positives for every 1 correction? Effective home and school communication through a variety of avenues such as Schoology and behavior think sheets. Remember to use your pre-corrections and daily reminders. When Tier 1 interventions appear not to be working for some of your students, documentation of behaviors will become important. Our next video will focus on collecting data and Tier 2 interventions.